today on the Slanted Lens, well, I should say yesterday on the Slanted Lens, we were up here on Little Round Top. We did a great shot of Lincoln right here, kneeling, praying. I just want to talk about how we set that up, a little bit about things that we did to make that happen. So let's get started, see what we can do. Hi, this is JP Morgan. Yesterday we came up here on top of Little Round Top. We set a Lincoln here in the corner. He's on the rock wall that would have literally been where Chamberlain's troops were at the Battle of Gettysburg as they repelled the Confederate forces coming up the hill. So let's take a look at that image we shot yesterday and let's break it down. So here's our camera setup. On the camera left-hand side, we got a Baja V4. It's got a medium Dynalite softbox in it. That softbox is silver line, gives a nice punch, very nice. I put a grid on it at first. Grid to kind of pull the light, so it's just on our Lincoln. I looked at that and I thought, well, we pulled that grid off just to kind of open the light up a little bit, and it gave us some great highlights across the rocks here on that camera left side. That looked fabulous, so that grid ended up being not the right thing. So we took that off, we let the highlights rake across the rocks here, the stones in the wall. You got nice kind of light, so the light's slightly behind Lincoln, which is always where I want the light to be. I want it to be camera, just off from camera, so it's lighting towards camera. Give us a little bit of shadows towards camera. Worked out beautifully on that side, but then it was a little dark overall. So we put a Baja B6 behind us with an umbrella just to open the scene up just a little bit. So we're exposing obviously for the ambient that's going on in the trees behind us. The sun's going down, so I treated it just like you would as a sunset. So I'm going to take and move my shutter, slowly lengthen my shutter a little bit to keep that ambient exposure in the background matching my strobes that I'm controlling with the aperture up front. As I balance those two to get a nice shot. I thought the shot was beautiful. It's very pretty. We see Lincoln looking at the Gettysburg Address. We see him with his glasses looking at the address. We see him just kneeling there in prayer. Everyone knows how much I love smoke, so the last thing we did is we put a little smoke in the background. So we're out here on location. I did not fly with one of my Roscoe smoke machines. Instead, we used a smoke grenade. It's a paintball grenade. Kind of walk that through in the background to give us a little bit of smoke behind him. It looked just really pretty. We were trying to play with just the natural current of the wind up here to find out where it's going to go. You know, drop a leaf, see which way it flows. Try to get that smoke to kind of go behind him, not in front of him, but to swirl around the trees and give us kind of a nice highlight. I think in the end we'll go into Photoshop, put some rays coming through the trees and composite to just kind of give a last little hint of light, direction, and sense. I think that'll kind of round the image out. So we had two cases of equipment. I had my SKB kind of studio on the road case, which is fabulous. Got my two Bajas in it. It's got stands in it. It's got the sound in it. It's got everything there. You can roll that up the trail here. It's very easy to bring up. And then we brought a camera case. And that was about it. A few things we threw into our briefcase, but if you look at how we packed for Gettysburg, it'll give you a better idea what we brought here. So it was pretty easy, pretty mobile, but we did hire a person when we got here on location to help us. Just a young man that came out to kind of haul equipment. Met him in a sandwich shop. Went into a sandwich shop and I told the owner, hey, do you know anybody that can work for us today? We're desperate. We need another person. We're short. And he's called a girl who was in photo and she couldn't do it, I guess. And he called another guy, Graham, said, hey, Graham can do it. And he called me up and Graham came and helped us out. So that was very cool. So, you know, it never hurts to ask. We had a fabulous Abraham Lincoln here at Gettysburg. We brought him in from Pittsburgh. His name was Rick Miller. He was excellent. He looked the look. The only thing that did happen is when he took his hat off, he was all silver-haired on top. So Jillian had to drive the town next town over to find some streaks and tips so he could blacken his hair. And we were desperate enough that we would have put shoe polish in it eventually, I guess. But he ran and got some streaks and tips so he could spray it in his hair and he could wash out a little later. But he was fabulous, did a great job. We enjoyed having him here. So he was a great talent. So there's working on location, a fairly small amount of equipment for me. Other people say that's a huge amount of equipment, but the Lincoln did make the comment that he said, you're as slow as Matthew Brady when you shoot. Oh, thank you. Matthew Brady, who'd drive up in a great big wagon and set up a huge camera and it'd take him like 6 or 8 hours to do one. I am as slow as Matthew Brady, aren't I? But I love the results, and that's all that really matters. So I hope you learned something from this little tutorial out on location, a little smoke on location and lighting. Hope you gained something from this experience, as I did. So keep those cameras rolling, keep on clicking. The month's not over. The giveaway's still going on. We're giving away 5 SKB cases. These are worth $200 each. Go to theslantedlens.com. We're going to have 5 lucky winners this month. They'll be thankful. Don't forget to subscribe to the Slanted Lens. Like us on Facebook. Tell your mother about us. Tell your mother's mother about us.